Hello, everybody. How you doing? This is Mars here with the bottom line. Man, I got a fantastic interview for you all today. Yes, Phaedra Williams. After the day, no questions. You know who Phaedra Williams is. She's like already out there. For those that don't know, it's gonna be a good interview. Phaedra is awesome. But let me take a sip of my tea right quick because this is my blood orange, like organic, all nice, sweet, healthy tea for you. Clear your throat for the interview. So here we go. Man, this is awesome. So let me tell you a little bit about who Phaedra is. She's a Cleveland, Ohio native. She began her love of fashion began in high school. After graduation, she attended Virginia Marty College of Fashion and Art in Lakewood, Ohio, where she earned a degree in fashion merchandising. From there, she began coordinating local fashion shows and photo shoots, training models on the runway. And after a while, it proved harder to make a living, so she decided to switch careers and discovered the art of makeup in '92. With stars in her eyes and a dream of being the hottest makeup artist to hit town, she decided to pack her things and move to Hollywood to work in the entertainment industry. She landed her first job as a makeup artist at the Glamour Shots Photography. From there, she applied makeup at the cosmetic counters and department stores and worked in major cosmetic lines. Since then, Phaedra has continued to work successfully in the beauty entertainment industry as a professional makeup artist. Her work has been seen on television shows, music videos, and countless magazines such as Glamour, Sports Illustrated Women, Heart and Soul, Ebony, and Essence, to name a few. But success did not come easy. To subsidize her income while freelancing as a makeup artist, she worked as a receptionist at Lady D's Skincare Studio in Beverly Hills, California. Phaedra's passion for making women beautiful doesn't end there. She was able to make another one of her dreams come to pass. She developed her own line of cosmetics consisting of lip gloss, concealers, foundations, and pressed powders. Helping women who struggle with finding shades to match their complexions is what brings Phaedra her greatest joy. And right now, I want to introduce to you Phaedra Williams.
Hello. Hi, everyone. How are you?
Doing great. It's like it's a lot of things packed in there. I mean, like it's a lot
Yes.
of things packed in that bio that I mean, and what's amazing is that the steps you took, and then you said, you know what? I got to make drastic, like intentional changes. You start packing
Yes.
up, and you move clearly across the country.
Yes, I did.
Clearly across the country. So I want to come back a little bit. It says that you had an interest in fashion in high school. So I
Yes.
remember you from high school. For those that don't know, I remember you from high school. And you had
We
this
were
passion.
speaking briefly, and I'm like, I vaguely remember you, but I kind of remember you.
So I remember the fashion. I remember the styles, the different looks that you would bring out. So where did this all start?
So in high school, that was kind of like my thing. I loved fashion. I loved clothes. I never owned a pair of jeans in high school, and for that, I was, as well as other things in the style that I had, I was voted best dressed in high school. So I love to draw and sketch, and I would draw clothes. I was on the newspaper, and so basically, I was on the fashion section of the high school newspaper, and I would give you the latest tips and what was hot and the trends of things that were going on back in the '80s.
Right.
So so that was my thing, and that's how I got into fashion. So
Got a
yeah.
question. What was the hottest trend in the 80s in fashion?
Um, there were several. There were a lot of oversized clothes,
Oh,
um, bright neon colors, like bright yellows. I remember having like bright pinks, and crazy thing is, I wear all black now, which is so funny.
right.
But yeah, bright neon colors were the thing in the '80s. I mean, you could tell from like the movies that we would see back in the day. So, but yeah, big. padded shoulders, you know.
That was what was that? The Sheila E. look with the padded shoulders? Was it Sheila E.
Yes, yeah. Well, you can look at Prince. You
Prince?
know, he had the
Janet?
padded shoulders on his suit. So yeah.
Yeah, Janet Jackson. You know.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
wow. And do you remember this? You mentioned the neon colors. You remember when back in the breakdance days they had the neon color shoestrings?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Something parachute pants.
Mm-hmm.
So that sparked, so what sparked from was it like going back to childhood and then like getting that interest where it just came out to where you wouldn't let it go? Some things are a passion. You say, no matter what you do, you would do this if you weren't getting paid to do it. You would still do it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So what does that get back to?
I can't attribute it to anything. I think just as a young girl, I loved clothes, just like a lot of young girls do. Right. I love clothes. And so for me, it was a way for me to make a statement and stand out. Subconsciously, I guess that's the way I attribute it to. Right. Because I remember the older that I got, I remember taking like certain jobs and people would compliment me on, oh my God, you are so sharp. I love your outfit, and of course that's great self-esteem for a teenager.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for me, I guess I wanted to stand out. So, and that was a good way for me to do that. It's just, be a sharp dresser, coordinated from head to toe.
Yeah, coordinate. Got to coordinate.
Coordinate.
So, okay. So from there, you started going. You were in the makeup business, and you're doing the countertop makeups. Doing it on the countertop. I don't know the proper terminology for it, but.
So what happened was when I was still in Cleveland, before I moved out here to LA, when I was still in Cleveland, I would work with fashion shows, and I would coordinate fashion shows. Okay. And oddly enough, I went to a modeling and charm school when I was about 12 years old. Oh, so okay. I personally was doing fashion shows. So of course, I think that kind of attributed to the clothes as well, and fashion, because I did go to a modeling school. And so the older that I got, I would start to get into modeling and fashion shows. And then I would start coordinating fashion shows and training other girls how to walk the runway. And so I remember we were trying to, we would have these groups, these modeling groups, and we needed a makeup artist for some photo shoots. Okay. And at the time, there was no one around that was doing the makeup. So I knew my background was art. So, and drawing and sketching. So I'm like, you know what, let me give this a try. And I started doing the makeup for the photo shoots that we had and loved it. That was a wrap. I was like, oh, this is it. I met my calling. So, and then not too long after that, I packed my bags and I left, moved to LA.
Was there any fear?
Yes, of course. Of course.
What was some of the things that you thought about when you made that decision to go? What was that little voice in the back of your head? That the one that want to hold you back when you want to move forward? That little voice. What was your voice? That little voice.
Here's the thing. It was, of course, the voice is always, what if I don't make it? But my louder voice was, I was so excited, and so gung-ho about the possibility. What if I do make it? Right. So that voice was louder to me. So
that's awesome. That is awesome. So you get out to Hollywood. What happened?
So when I first moved here, there was no internet. Okay, so I literally was at the Maple Heights, Ohio library every weekend. And I was doing research. So I knew I was on my way out there. And a classmate of mine from high school, she was already here. So she was like, if you come out here, we could be roommates. So I was like, cool. So which to me, I already knew what area I was going to move to. So I was going to move to Hollywood. She had an apartment in Hollywood. So what I did as far as my research at the library every weekend is I would find jobs that were close to where she lived.
Okay.
So that's how I found out where, gosh, what is it? Glamour Shots.
Okay.
Glamour Shots.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my first gig.
And that's a big name.
Yeah.
They're pretty big. Oh, at least
Yes.
they were at the time. I'm not sure what they are now.
Yeah, they don't exist anymore.
Yeah, I don't keep up with it. I remember the name. And so Glamour Shots, you go through there, you get your feet wet by just being in Hollywood, being in that industry, and then what happens next?
So crazy thing is I ended up coming back home for a year to Cleveland.
Okay.
But I knew I wasn't going to stay. So I ended up coming back to Los Angeles. But when I came back the second time, this is when I started working in the industry, as we call it. And that was the entertainment industry. So I started doing makeup for music videos.
Okay.
A lot of rappers, a lot of up and coming rappers. And crazy enough, it was people who are well known now, but back then we didn't know who they were.
Right.
People like, who was it? Eminem.
Okay.
Black Eyed Peas.
Right.
So I kind of started when they started. So let you know how long ago that's been. So yeah.
Hey, that's resume. Keep it on.
Yeah.
You look back now. You look now when you worked with these different artists, and then they made it. You're sitting back like, hey, I did
right.
People. I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, and then not only that, I'm sure referrals came as you got into the industry, got better, then you get referrals. Yeah,
it got to a point where the music industry, it's kind of tricky. You know what I mean? And it gets very dicey. So there was a time when I just was like, I can't work with these artists anymore. Seriously, because these rappers, and it's even worse now, right. Because they're new, they're up and coming, they're throwing a lot of money at them, and you get on set, and as makeup and hair, we're the first person that's on set. So a lot of times we have to get there at like 6-7 o'clock in the morning. Okay. And so by the time talent comes in, which is the artist, it's around maybe 9 o'clock. So at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm telling you guys the good and the bad of the industry. At 9 o'clock in the morning, they're already like, you know what I mean, drinking the Hennessy and, right. Getting lit, So I'm like, okay, this, I can't. It's too much.
And that makes sense. And then, so you went from working with artists. And so what was your next, what did that avenue take you next, that road?
Okay, so from the music industry, working with music videos, then that's when I got into working, because I needed to supplement the income, as you mentioned in the bio. Right. So I took a part-time job as a receptionist at a skincare salon. Okay. So, I was there working, and oddly enough, the owner, I learned so much from her. God rest her soul. She's no longer with us. But she taught me a lot about custom blending makeup. Okay. Had no idea it was a thing. Yeah. But she showed me how to do that. And so she was Nigerian. So a lot of her clients were African Americans. And so the clients that came in, I was custom blending for them. So they were women of color. Okay. So what I found is that some of the colors of like the powder colors were not matching their complexions. Mm-hmm. So I knew in my mind that was something I was going to conquer. Gotcha. So that's kind of how I started like my own business of custom blending.
That is awesome. You mentioned custom blending. My little advertisement is that I make custom made organic soaps.
All right.
Yeah, all organic soaps. So
okay.
that is an art to blend those scents and the oil, all
Yes.
that. So
Yes.
I'm with
Yes.
you. So
Yes.
you went from custom blending with that, and then you created your own business. You started your own business.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
So,
talk about it.
okay. So, yeah, so I went from, and let me just kind of back up a little bit. So I also with working with her, I was also working in the department stores.
Okay.
So in the department stores, you know, it was a lot of, people that would come through that were not women of color, and some were. So it was a struggle to try to find something that matched, because basically everything that was on the market was either too red or too ashy or too orange. So that was frustrating. So for me, in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, you know what? I gotta do something about this. So yes, so cut to me, coming up with my own cosmetic line. So at the same time, I was also working on clients, and I was doing eyebrows. So I was waxing eyebrows. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me open up a makeup studio, a makeup and eyebrow studio. So that's what I did. I opened up a makeup and eyebrow studio, and it was just word of mouth, So there was no social media, there was no Instagram, no Facebook. So everything was word of mouth back then. And we loved word of mouth because, because people trust their friends, they trust their cousins or whatever. So, they told a friend, they told a friend, they told a friend. So that's how I built up my client base and my customer base. So I would start custom bling makeup. People will call me and say, hey, I'm having a hard time finding something that matches me. Can you help me? And I would custom blend for them right on the spot. And then they would walk home with their own little bottle of foundation or their own powder. So they loved it.
You know what's so funny that you're saying that now, because I remember at times I should hear my mom say, she'll have some lipstick on. It's like, it's not the right color. I'm like, it's red. Red is red. Like, what are you talking about? But it makes a difference high on the skin. And so
there's several types of red.
Right. So when you were working with your customers and you're coming across this challenge of finding the right blends of colors for a person's skin tone, your counterparts were probably wondering, like, did they realize that that was an issue for African American women finding the right colors?
No, I don't think, when it came to the other cosmetic lines that had already existed, to them, they were just like, okay, this is the colors just go darker and darker and darker. Right. But what I discovered, without giving out my little tips, what I discovered is there are undertones to our complexions. So, and not only women of color, but, all women as well. There are undertones that go into, effect when you're wearing makeup to make it look as natural as possible.
Right.
Because if you got the wrong undertone on, you can look ashy real quick.
Ooh, don't want that.
No, we don't want that. We don't want that at all.
You don't want that. Oh man. So I'll put that up there. And that's something that you hear more and more. You hear about with clothing. Women can't find the right clothing they need, and it's the makeup, different things. So you hit a niche.
Yes.
It became a trend more so for people talking about it more and creating their lines of cosmetics. Because you said in the 90s you started this, and then it's like, everybody has a makeup line. That's a woman of color.
Right. That's true.
So what was the challenges for you coming into this industry, creating your own blends with your ideal in mind that you need to broaden the color chart, for women's makeup for their skin tones? What were the challenges creating your own business in a place that's what they thrive at, is fashion, is Hollywood? So how did you?
Well,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say, but the challenges doing that.
There were challenges when I tried to create it on a larger scale. And what I mean by that is, now granted, I had my clients, but that would come in, but I tried to get it into I think I approached HSN, QVC, you know, and of course they're telling me, well, Queen Latifah has her own cosmetic line. So, because, you know, when it comes to anything that has to do with someone of color and they're already doing it, if one other person has it, God forbid, somebody else comes out with something and they're figured, okay, well, no, she's good. She's already got a line. So you don't want to compete with that. It's like, are you kidding me right now?
Right.
When you go into the department stores, there's like 20 different lines for, you know, women that are not of color, but yet because one person has a cosmetic line that's of color, you don't want to have anybody else. So those were challenging, you know, challenges that I was facing then.
So how long was that process for you to be recognized? Because were you at that time, you were already working with celebrities, correct?
Yes. And so, and that's what I would do. Like I would give them, you know, like some of my makeup to wear. And so, you know, just from being here in this industry, I would have different actresses wear my makeup. So, and then of course, fellow makeup artists. And then, you know, I would come out with a palette, which is what other makeup artists would use for, and I don't know if you guys know what a palette is. So basically, oh, you know what? I got one right here. This is a palette.
Okay.
You guys see that? So I came up with, you know, with those, and then I would sell it to my colleagues, other makeup artists. And so they would also use my makeup on set. And so that got exposed to, you know, different TV shows or, you know, different actors and actresses. So that's how I also got my name out there.
That's awesome. I mean, and that's what we have to do, that word of mouth, and stay in that hustle. Keep grinding out that hustle. So your trials were trying to get your product out there. You did that, and it continued to grow. Now you say, you know what? I'm taking it to another level.
Yeah.
And now it's like, you're like, now you want to start training and teaching. So,
yes, but not with the makeup. So I got something else.
Right. I'm getting into that. And so I say that because it's always good to see someone who takes something and master a craft and has the heart to pour back into other people, to keep something going. And a lot of times people will hold on to that. They will hold on, keep their recipes, keep their everything they're doing to themselves. They'll even have workers work for them, but then they're holding back on the information of how they can do it too, or how they can the road to take. And you're saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pour into some other people. So I had a video I wanted to play of you mentioning this. Right now, they're online courses, Phaedra Beauty, and this is called How to Start a Lip Gloss Line for Beginners. So I wanted to go ahead and let some people see what you have for them if they're interested, which we know they will be.
Okay.
Let me make sure I pull the right Facebook one up because I have two going up here. Let's see, which one is it? Perfect. So here we go. And I didn't hear anything on that one.
I can hear it.
You can hear it?
I can hear it.
Okay. That's good. Good.
Bringing it back up.
Yeah, it looked weird. It didn't want to come up right away. I'm not sure what happened there.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. So I got it back up. You good?
Yes.
think that's pretty cool. I think that's
Thank
pretty
you.
cool. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
well, and sorry about the technical difficulties there. I'm not sure what happened there on that one. But talk to us a little bit about your online training courses and what you're doing and what inspired you with that.
Okay, so this, the video that you played is my online course for how to start your lip gloss business. As well, that went along with my my custom blending with the foundations and the powders. I also would custom blend lip gloss.
Okay.
So, and I had been doing that for years as well. And oddly enough, over the course of time, people would approach me and ask me, you know, my granddaughter wants to start her own lip gloss line, or I want to start my own lip gloss line, or my daughter. So they were asking me, how can you help? So, and at first I was like you mentioned, I want to give my recipe away. You know what I mean? You want to keep it to yourself,
right.
You know, because you don't want competition.
Right.
So I thought about it and prayed about it. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for you guys. I have kits, like a starter kit that would help you get started. So basically you'll get a bunch of colors. It's different. Let me show you guys here. Get a few colors here. So different pigments. Okay, you can see that here.
You'll get a live,
so you get
session here.
What's that?
A live training session here.
That's right. That's right. So there's different colors that come inside the kit. And you'll get like lip gloss tubes, you'll get lip gloss base, and the pigments, and also the Mica frost. And so basically the starter kit's going to help you start the business. Now, people were asking me, is there a training course? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start one. So that's what I did. So now you can go to my online course and basically follow along with you starting the kit on how to start the business.
Okay, that sounds awesome. Now I heard you mention the Mica frost. I've never heard of Mica. I'm familiar with micro. Let me get it right. Mica pigment.
Okay.
Because I use Mica pigment for coloring. So what is Mica frost?
It's like glitter.
Okay. Okay.
That's what it is. I don't know if you guys can you see that? It's
that.
glitter. So that's what it is. It's I mean, we all know what glitter is from being like little kids playing in it. So this is what we use to make like pigments and colors and lip glosses and makeup. So
I was going to I'm trying to put up a banner for that so people know what we're talking about. Lip gloss. I put online lip training. That didn't sound too good. So I want to put in an online lip gloss training.
Okay. There you go.
So out of all the types of makeup that you could have did a training on, why lip gloss?
That was the one that they were asking me about. So of course, you know, you want to do the supply and demand.
Right.
So I was getting a lot of demand for it. So I decided to supply it.
Okay. And then while we're doing that right there, we're going to go ahead and get your website, which is Phaedra Beauty Online, correct?
Yes, PhaedraBeautyOnline.com.
I type real slow, so I'm gonna.
That's okay.
I don't have my producer here today, so I'm working like my fingers are like all over the place.
You doing like 1 and 1?
I'll type a little better than that. we had I can't think of the typing lady's name back in the day in school, but I had her. So I'll make sure I spell that right. PhaedraBeautyOnline.com.
Let's see.
So
that is correct.
So everyone out there, you can check out PhaedraBeautyOnline.com, and you can check out our products and get on there and get your lip gloss training on. You know,
yes,
there's nothing wrong with training a young child up to be an entrepreneur.
Yes, and with that training comes my mentorship. So if you need help, and there's no charge for that. So if you take the course, I offer a mentorship to help you guys along the way.
Awesome. So you take it all the way from the training on building the line as well as starting the business, showing them how to go through the process of starting a business.
Yes. So a lot of the information is already on the online training. Of course, if you have questions along the way, then I will help you.
Okay, great. So how has this pandemic affected your business? Knowing that you're up in, you're in close proximity doing makeup. So how has this affected you by any chance?
Well, when it comes to the makeup, I can honestly say there was one client that I worked with throughout the pandemic, very, very well known A-lister.
Okay.
But I didn't really work with any because everything else was shut down.
Right.
So I didn't really do too many other people in regards to the makeup. But when it came to my online store, that is, I gotta say, that is what sustained me, and
Awesome.
thank God for it, because I had started doing this right before COVID hit. So I was already kind of promoting it and putting it out there. So thank God, because I was able to, make money from my online store shipping out products.
Yeah. I mean, that is awesome. I mean, I could say the same thing for myself. I think it was February. I started researching making soap. And then
Yeah.
February is when I launched it. And my job, I have a day job, and they sent us home like first week of March.
Yeah.
So it was like the soap start picking up, So
Yes, right.
I totally understand that, man. So what's the next step? What's in the future for Phaedra Williams and her online beauty?
I want to expand. I want to, obviously I want to expand and grow bigger with the lip gloss and mentoring. So yeah.
I mean, you have any ideas or plans, or is those all under the wraps you can't talk about?
I mean, we'll just keep it under wraps for now.
So there's no chance getting back in with the music celebs, huh?
Well, like I said, I work with one, and I'll go ahead and mention his name because I have mentioned it on my social media. So I am personal makeup artist for Stevie Wonder.
Oh, that is awesome. Hey, what's going to happen when Stevie moves? He's moving to Ghana.
I don't know, but maybe I'll fly out there.
Well, they do travel with the people. They'll ship them. They'll bring them out. They'll fly them out.
Yes.
They'll fly you out, take care of them, and you fly back.
Yes, I've done that.
And see, and that's another thing. So what I can see happening to you at some point, I can see you having a book about your journey.
You never know. You never know.
I can see that happening, and it's been a pleasure of having you on the show, and I definitely want to keep up with you, what you're doing in the future, and at any time you have any new product or anything, I would love for you to come on our show. And I'm small time, but hey, Facebook,
that's okay.
Facebook is global, so
that's right. That's right.
And YouTube. So the whole thing is that, like I said before, we were talking earlier. It's always a blessing to meet people, or people not to meet people that you have met and see where they are now, and to have opportunity to have those discussions and to interview them and see where they're at now and want to get their story, because a lot of times, you may get the big interviews from these are the bigger networks and everything, but what is good is that people from where you're from home will see something and say, wow, I know her. I remember her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then it just helps. And then another way is also opportunity to get more clientele.
Absolutely. So, I mean, to me, you're saying small, but it's like you just, I don't mind small, big, whatever. It doesn't matter. Sometimes people put you in that perception like, oh, well, she's this, she's that. I can't, she's untouchable now. But look, I'm just a girl from Cleveland, Ohio that lives here in Los Angeles.
And I'm just a guy from Cleveland that lives in Dallas now.
There you go.
We're both living our passion.
Right.
And it's been awesome. It's been a pleasure catching up with you. And again, I look forward to talking to you in the future.
Okay. Thank you. It's been awesome. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem at all. You want to stick around and after I close out the show.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And that was Phaedra Williams. And it's been a pleasure. She has an online store called Phaedra Beauty Online. I want to bring the website back up for you right here. And go ahead and check her out. Go ahead, and if you know someone who wants to start making their own lip gloss, go ahead, check her online training out. And with that, I'm out. This is Mars from The Bottom Line. Take care, y'all.